And now, Philipsburg Broadcasting proudly presents Good Morning, Mr. Governor, with Francis Carty.
Good morning, Mr. Governor. End the formation of government-owned companies and replace them with effective joint ventures. After spending 4 weeks of relaxation off island, I had the necessary time to reflect and focus on how we can rebuild St. Martin in a more integer manner. It will take us some time to restore our physical assets, but it will take us more time to unlearn the many bad practices that have entrapped us into our present culture of corruption. Just before my leaving on vacation, I read a very interesting presentation by members of the Kingdom Council of State, and rather than criticizing these presentations, I am recommending that specific steps and time be taken and necessary to understand the origin of specific corruptive practices. I beg to state that most of them started very innocently as acts of convenience or accommodation. When we analyze the origin of government-owned companies on St. Martin, we realize that our island territory was not allowed to borrow monies from the bank, and for this to be done, we had to incorporate an NV to execute the needed project. As a result, government officials had to appoint their friends to sit as board members of these corporations, and thus they appointed their friends and supporters to these positions. And thus government-owned companies were formed with the hope that our appointees will operate an efficient government-owned company to provide our people with services and projects that will serve the general interests of the island and its people. As a point of hindsight, with little knowledge of each and every circumstance behind the origin of government-owned companies on St. Martin, one might question when and how our public servants become so corrupt, and my natural response is that no one took the necessary time out to show us how to operate or manage key elements of each corporate entity. We were never taught how to become and remain accountable for our responsibilities, and there was no desire to provide annual profit to assure the sustainability of the business and its services. If our way forward is to make integrity the cornerstone of our government-owned companies, then we will have to stop our mindset for establishing government-owned companies. The business model that we presently are operating with is not working because the people we place to operate these businesses are not familiar with the intricacies of the business operations. Therefore, the business model for us to consider is a joint venture model in which we will seek out experienced businesses in the field of work that this company will be involved in and strike an agreement that will assure us capital, managerial skills, along with the willingness to train our own people how to assume full managerial responsibilities to ensure the company's sustainability after the joint venture agreement ends. There is no substitute for effective management skills with clear accountability and superior performance. This leads to a public-private company that works for the people and a healthy working relationship between government and its people. Therefore, as a point of departure towards a better St. Martin, let's end political appointments to these joint ventures and let's begin to reward our most trained and ready local managerial prospects with key positions in which they will learn through effective performance and results. So the first lesson is to find key joint venture partners who will work with sign a transparent agreement with government, and assure the island with trained local managers to assure our people with ongoing, effective services that they can depend on. Good morning, Mr. Governor.
That was Good Morning, Mr. Governor by Francis Carty.